Hello everyone, it's Ray from Skeletorama again. Welcome back to my channel. Give it a hashif. So how is everyone? I'm doing better than I was in that last episode. But anyways, so in this one, this is episode 3, we are going to be working on more of the stuff with the door and stuff with some more of the wallpaper and whatnot. So hope you enjoy. All right, so we are back. Our wall has been allowed to dry overnight. And that's due in part because I was spending so much time fussing with these things. So these have been painted as well. They were painted with, I used 2 different paints, the Folk Art acrylic and the Anita's acrylic, and then I covered it with the Sculpey gloss glaze like I did last time, so hopefully it will minimize the chipping. I already know it's going to chip because that's the nature of these coated ones, but sadly I can't get the unfinished ones without waiting like 3 weeks for them to show up, right? So those are going to go here. And then right here we have a big pile of what looks like Pocky that I ran over with my car. That's not what this is. These are the wood pile slim sticks right here. So I bought 2 packages. I did a full package because we're going to have to do this one plus the other wall plus the back wall. And it'll give me a jump start on the ones I'm going to be using for the attic, which I'm sure will take up the rest of these too. So total time to stain these and all that, about an hour or so. Usually what I do is I sit here with my tablet and I watch YouTube while I do this kind of stuff. So I was binge watching some Boylai Hobby Time. He is fantastic. He does a lot of really cool dioramas. And if you do any sort of terrain or you want to do any kind of special finishes on things, he's a really good person. So I'll link that down below in case anybody else wants to jump down that rabbit hole too. But anyway, so now what we're going to do is we are going to free our door, and then we will get started putting these things on here. So I'll get these over to the side here a little bit. Move these because if you even look at them, they want to chip. Okay, so this is going to be really easy. What we're going to do here, see, and you can barely see that join, and it's only because we know it's there, so we're going to see it. But other than that, if you're just looking at the wall, yeah, you don't really notice it right off. All right, so we're going to flip this over. We're going to take our X-Acto knife, make sure we don't have anything on the blade like we currently do. I have no idea what that is, but that's going. And I'm going to very carefully, oops, sorry. I did guacamole and stuff for dinner, so I have cilantro on my hands still. Okay, so I'm going to put my knife in through here, and I'm going to cut it straight down. Try not to move my knife over because I don't want to, cut the door in a weird place. Okay, same with this. Okay, and then we're going to cut at the top too, if this goes sideways on us. And usually what I'll do is I'll turn around and I'll go from each corner to each corner. It's just easier. If it goes completely sideways, I mean, worst case scenario, we just tear the paper off the front and redo it. Okay, so here we are. So we're going to take this and we're going to cut from the front now. So we do have a little bit where there was a problem. We're going to glue that down. Okay, and then we've got this cut here. And since we didn't, completely cover the paper, all of its surface with glue, we're going to do that now too, because see, this is going to kind of lift up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift up all these edges and we're going to make sure everybody is nice and flat. And this little bit we're going to leave here because we really don't want to have that big of a gap in there. So we're just going to make sure to glue it down real good. So for that, I'm going to use my PVA glue. Okay, so I'm going to go along here, and anywhere where this is not held right down, I'm going to run some glue under here to make sure it stays nice and stuck around the edges. This is really the only chance we're going to have to do this. This is my one I'm concerned with because I stupidly screwed that part up. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the piece of foam back down as well. make sure this is really well down. Actually, get up under here too. I can see it's not as stuck down as it could be. Let me make sure this one is here. All right. Flip it over and kind of do underneath. We also don't want to do this with the exposed foam with the Fabri-Tac, just because, again, it's acetone base, and if you watched my Alice video, you'll know that that's what I used to contour the base, was acetone. So, all right, so like we did there, anywhere here where it's coming up, see, like that, we're just going to make sure that it's nice and covered. This time we are going to go all the way out to the edges. There we go. Uh-oh, I've got so much glue on there. All right, so now for these edges, I was thinking of putting paper. Where the hell did my top of my glue go? All right, well, hey, if y'all can see it, there we go. God knows I can't. I'm going to grab my Mod Podge, and we're going to coat the sides with Mod Podge, so at least it's going to protect them. There it is. But we don't want to add any bulk to it. So that's the easiest way to do that. So I've got my little brush here. And we definitely want to do this and let this dry for a good hour or so before we go crazy with any other parts of it. Get any of these little random bits off. Okay, hopefully you can see this. And I'm just going to seal this here. So this will stop any more of the foam trying to come off. This is one of the places where I don't want to do the black pen. A, because it's going to be closed most of the time, so that shouldn't be a problem. But B, it will really outline that door if you even slightly miss, right? So we don't want to call attention to the break where the door is. So I'm just going to continue around with the Mod Podge. Hope for the best. Some of these places you can see where it's like missing little chunks of foam in there, but I mean, what are you going to do, right? And this will also kind of help seal that edge of the paper also. And again, I'm not going to paint it black just because I know what'll happen and it won't be good. Because I'll go sploop. So I always do. All right. And so while I am doing this super exciting part here, I guess I can talk about some of the stuff that I was thinking about doing in addition to obviously the secret room. I was thinking I could call it the Mystery Mansion, right? Because that way, if I were to say make some different things, which I'm going to do, for example, all the different food that you see throughout the series, of course, Scooby Snacks being the most obvious one that we need to do, but there's a couple episodes that feature like canned foods and pantry style things, and since we're gonna have a kitchen, it's perfect to recreate some of these. So that's what I'm gonna do. And that way I could put, you know, the kit like on Etsy or something if anybody wants to have a go at it. And I'm also going to be going back through, I have 4 seasons, I believe, 3 seasons for sure. And what is supposed to be the complete Scooby Doo movies, but it is not. I can promise you it's not, because it's missing episodes that I know exist, which is a bummer, and it doesn't look like they're ever planning on releasing those, but those are one of my favorites. But I'm gonna go back through and watch and look for different iconic things from each episode. Now, I don't know if I can fit, say, one thing from each of the first, you know, few seasons worth of episodes, but I am gonna do some key things like in the attic area, that window that looks down, since it's gonna be in the secret room, I think would be the perfect place to put the statue of the wax phantom, because it's going to be big, it's going to be weird. You don't want to necessarily have it out in the rest of the house, but it could also be standing there. So if you're looking through that window, you see this big wax phantom kind of looking out at you. It'd be sort of cool. So I'm going to do that. That will probably feature polymer clay, translucent polymer clay for sure. Maybe glow in the dark might be kind of fun. I'm also going to do the knight, the suit of armor from the Black Knight from the first episode. I mean, there's going to be all kinds of little stuff like that. So, you know, if anybody has any ideas or things that you're like, oh, you've got to do this. Oh, it's not complete without that. I mean, just let me know in the comments. I will do my best, keeping in mind that, you know, I do have limited skills with stuff, but hey, I will certainly try. So I'm going to leave this to dry. I'm going to give these about an hour-ish to dry before I go messing about. Then we're going to attach the door with its Tyvek on the back, and then we're going to start doing this front part here. So I will see you guys back then. All right, so I left this to dry for a little over an hour. So I went and ate dinner and made tacos, and I kind of wanted to take a nap after eating dinner, but I didn't, miraculously. Okay, so let's double check our fit here again. Make sure we're still good with our door. Make sure our door's still gonna open okay. And it seems like it might need a little bit more. Do some sanding, I think, right there. Let's see. Let's find one with sandpaper that's not trashed, shall we? All right. So I'm going to avoid the paper and just go for the door itself. Same with this inner wall here. Okay. So I think it just, when I had to fix that bit, I think it made it stick out a little bit extra. Okay. Let's try it now. So much fluff from this stuff. Okay. Just about. It'll definitely be better once we get the hinge on there, but you know, sadly, yes, it's kind of noticeable. Our secret entrance, but that's fine. It's okay. It's still gonna be cool. All right. Do just a little bit more sanding on this part. Okay, there we go, that's much better. And it actually looks like it's fitting together a little bit better too. But that's all right, we'll put some stuff on there that'll make it nice and distracting, so people can't really tell. So what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and secure, we need to secure our door on here before we do anything else. All right, you can see where the tape messed up a little bit of that. All right, so I'm going to take my sandpaper to the back of this, just so I know I've got a nice level surface without these little raggedy bits. Now we are going to use this. So this is Tyvek, and like I said, I get it with whenever you get the priority mail envelopes from the post office. They are, if you don't have access to those, most office stores, Home Depot and those guys, they'll carry Tyvek envelopes. They're not very expensive, and a little of it goes a long way too. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on here. We want it level with the top of the door, And we're going to use this whole width of it because I want a nice big hinge for it, so I don't have to worry about it going over or anything. So I'll go ahead and trim this a bit more, but I'm going to leave it a little long because we can trim it once it's dry. Okay, so for this here, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. Even though it's foam, it should be okay because we Mod Podged that, so it protects it quite a bit. And this stuff holds on real strong and it dries pretty quickly and whatnot. So we want a generous amount of glue, but not so much that it's going to seep through that crack and seal our door shut. That would be bad. Which it'll probably do exactly that now that I've said it. Okay, so here's our lovely hinge. It's going to be covered by wallpaper, so I don't care that it still says post office. Okay, I'll press this down. We'll leave that to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to get out our selection of templates. So what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for the nope, I'm not looking for that cat fur, where the hell that was. Wall divider. Okay. Because we're going to go ahead and do the paper for the other side here that's going to be facing opposite it. And then the one for the wall behind that is actually going to be this. The problem is, though, that of course this wall sits here and this wall sits here. So I am going to have to take this out there and measure it. Well, in theory, why don't I go ahead and hold that up the right way? Jesus. Take this out and measure it to see exactly which chunk it is. And we can cut this smaller so we can trace it out. But we'll go out there and get that here in a bit. And then we can also put our paper on the back side of here once this is dry. Okay, so now for this, I'm just going to hold it and I'm going to cut it with scissors. Did I do what I think I did? Here, get up there. All right, there we go. That's better. Now, is this going to last for the next 100 years, opening and closing constantly? No, it's not. But it'll hold up to, you know, just here and there. And I probably have it like propped open, I think, for display purposes or something. So here you can see this is coming through this way. And it's going to go back here. So we also need to take this here and crease this really good so that it's going to have a tendency to go back this way, like that. Okay. So voila. So we should probably put our paper on here on the other side first and then put the stuff here so we've got an even surface. That's my guess. So I think for this one, I want to use the purple for the attic. And so this can be the accent wall here. And then I can use the more solid color purple for the rest of the walls, because I should have 4 sheets that have that pattern on the back of it, which is plenty. I only have 2 that have this. So it's not enough to do the rest of the room, but it is enough to do this. And then I don't know if these tessellate. They kind of do. Yeah, they do. So tessellate means it repeats itself so that you can put one next to the other, to the other, to the other. So yeah, right about there. Okay, so we can do that if we want it to really meet up exactly on the back of this here. So here's what we can do. We can take this, we can line it up on this side here, and we can flip it over, and we can get it completely out of alignment. God, does it have to be so difficult? Why? Why can't I do things easy? Okay. There's that there. There's my pencil. Come across here and put a line there. Or I can measure, because yeah, well actually no, I do want to put this on. I'll put this on first, because if anything I can hide anything at the top with some crown molding. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's pretty too. Okay, so we've got that that way, or we can just measure it, which would probably be a hell of a lot easier. So from here to here is 9 5/8 inches. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll cut 2 pieces to be 9 5/8 inches. We'll set this to the side while that dries. Get the paper cutter out. Okay. So just like with the other ones, I'm going to go ahead and do this. This does not have any kind of vignette pattern to it, so I'm just going to cut it from the bottom here, especially because that's where I drew my line. Okay, so 9 5/8. And 9 5/8. All right, so how can we best do this? It would probably be best to have this go over here and stop right here, and then it can continue on here with the seam, or we can have it go here and then go here, so that seam's kind of far back so you don't really see it. Maybe we'll go this way. Okay. Oh, another important thing that we need to do, because this may not meet up exactly, I should go ahead and color this black right here. Just kind of like about yay much of it. It's probably not going to be seen, but just in case it is. This will help it not be as noticeable. I think we'll do this like here. And so this is going to end right about there. Bring the paper trimmer back in, because we know the paper trimmer can do a straight line, and we know that I'm bollocks at it, right? So why not use it to your advantage? I also apparently can never remember where my pencil line is. There it is. It doesn't help that I always use dark and or really loud papers. So I have to count on the shine from the pencil mark. Really? Okay, seriously, this is so aggravating. There it is. Make that a little bigger. There we go. Jesus. Plus, I really should probably wear my glasses, but yeah, we're not going to do that. All right. And I'm taking the offcuts and I'm putting them far, far away from me so I don't get them mixed up. Okay. So this piece is going to sit right here. Okay, let's fold our door back. There we go. And that's how we can also kind of line it up, is we can fold the door all the way back and then push this into that crease there. So we're getting a nice tight fit. Okay, so we've got that piece there. So now we've got this one over here, and it's only going to meet right there. So I'm not going to worry about trying to get it an exact match for the pattern. Okay, that's paintbrush. That ain't gonna do anything. Wow. Maybe I should have taken a nap after I ate. What do you guys think? I think I should have. Dear God. Okay. Oh, senility is kicking in. All right. This time I did a longer pencil line to help myself. Okay, so there we are. And actually I think we may end up doing this one after we put it in, now that I'm thinking about it. But I do want to mark the stuff where the door is, and we can go ahead and take care of the door. So I'm going to bring this back like so. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to butt this up against it. I'm going to mark where my door goes. It goes to here, and it goes to here. Now, is this going to, oh, nope, actually it goes lower than that. Let's put this back next to it, scoot it away a little bit. Yeah, I need to be just a little bit lower. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it just a little bit lower. Move this over to the side. And again, it's just paper, so if I botch it completely, it's okay. I have more. All right. As per always, is there an easier and better way to do this? Probably. Am I going to do it that way? I highly doubt it. All right, so we know that's going up to about yay high. And then we're going to go over here, do the same sort of thing. We're going to line it up at the edge of that one. And I want it on the lower of the two lines. And I'm just going to come across like so. Okay, then we can fine tune it as we go. Like I said, we can go ahead and put the door on, but I think I will wait for the outside until it's put in place, so that way we can make sure it fits nice and snug. All right, so with this, I'm going to use the paper trimmer to do most of it. That way I can also be sure I'm going, you know, in a straight line. So your blade sits right about there in the center of this. So I'm just going to go up mostly to there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to line this up. There's like a little wire in the center there. You probably can't see it, but and I'm going to take this nice and slow most of the way up. And then I can finish the rest with the X-Acto knife. The scissors that I have, the tonic scissors, the problem with those is they do have micro serrations to them. So if I cut it with those, at least one side will get those micro serrations no matter what you do. We definitely don't want that. So I can just square up this corner. And there we go. And then I'm going to erase my pencil lines from here, because God forbid I ever cut them dead on them, you know, never. Okay. Sure, I put this here. And then this we're going to have to cut down a little bit because of course we've, you know, taken part off of the inside of it. So this is actually going to be a little bit bigger than our door. But let's see how we did, shall we? How well did I do? Probably mediocre. That's usually what I do. Okay. Go here, here, here. Okay, it is a little bit large, but that's fine. I can deal with that. And then let me shut my door here. As far as the back of the door, I'm going to have to take about 1/4 inch off to cover the door. I haven't figured out whether or not I want to do some sort of door handle or something for the door. I mean, it would make sense, but I really can't think of what I would want to do for it. So, okay, what's the best way to do this? Let's do this. Put this here. We can line it up with the door. Push it into that corner. And then draw a line here so we know how much to cut off of there. This one I am going to go ahead and do with the scissors though. So I always screw it up when it's this small of an amount of material. Okay, Okay, and so that's going to go on the back of our door. And we're still going to have that gap. And actually, you know what? This gap, that would work for opening the door. Just pretend like you can reach in there, grab it. I don't know. Is what it is, yeah. Okay, so we've got that. We have this. And we have this. So everything is lined up really good. I really do want to put this on here now, but I know I'll regret it if I do. Yeah, it's just a little bit low, but that's okay because we got baseboards, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, just had to put my phone on silent because that's my mom. If she starts texting, she ain't gonna stop texting. So, where'd my pen go? Really? Oh, maybe I do need a nap. Okay, here we go. All right, and after seeing the interaction with that other stuff, I'm going to go ahead and do this little bit here also. Okay, there we are. So we at least have our pieces cut out. They're good to go. We're going to set these to the side. Alrighty, so that's it for episode 3. So in our next episode coming up, we will start working on some of the decorative trim on our wall, the wainscoting and all of that sort of stuff. And we will deal with some of the wallpaper on our attic wall as well. So hope to see you then. Humidistiv. Bye.